Good morning. It's a nice frosty morning in September 29th here in New Brunswick.
28th, I think.
28th? Oh, well, we're ahead. First decent day we've actually second decent day we've had all month. And we're here in, where are we officially in Westfield?
We're in Westfield.
We're in Westfield, New Brunswick, which is on the St. John River, about 12 kilometers outside the city of St. John. And we're here with Andrew and Clayton, their father and son. Sorry, son and father. Andrew has a boat shop where he repairs marine equipment, and they do this on the side for fun, mostly.
Yep.
They've got a little sawmill. They've got how many 100 acres are we sitting on?
150 or so, roughly, between the two of us.
So they've got a 150-acre wood lot. So they cut their own trees down and then bring them up here and mill them. And we're here looking for cedar for our door bottoms, and for the guys that are on the hand tool workshop who have the opportunity to see this, in our power tool workshop we're doing a chest of drawers, and we talked about what to use on the bottoms. And native New Brunswick cedar, I call it northern white cedar. What do you refer to the same thing?
Northern Eastern, yep.
Yeah, it's very light, aromatic, and just makes a really nice drawer bottom. However, it has a tendency to be rotted out in the center after it stands a while. And we're going to go out in the woods. We're going to look at it, find some trees. Going to ask these guys what they look for. We're going to cut one down, and then we're going to mill it. So there'll be a lot of stops and starts because we don't want this video to be 6 hours long. But anyway, anything to say?
No.
Let's do it.
All right, we'll go. All right, we'll pick this up once we're out in the woods. So, any idea what the history is on this piece of land? Was it farmed?
Yeah, it was previously it was an old homestead which was comprised of a much larger piece of land which was subdivided over the years into smaller farms. So traditionally historically it was farmland, but over the years it grew up into just woodlots, eh?
So what's the predominant species? Because see, everything I look at, cedar seems to be the most.
Yeah, definitely. We've got a lot of eastern white cedar here, northern white cedar. The majority of our woodlot is softwood.
Spruce, fir.
Yeah.
A little bit, a small amount of intermixed hardwood.
In New Brunswick, we use black spruce and fir primarily for construction timber.
For construction lumber?
Yeah.
Spruce, fir, and pine.
And what's the market for cedar?
It's a pretty selective market for cedar. In the marketplace, cedar's main competition is pressure-treated lumber, which is spruce, fir, pine that's been pressure-treated to last in the outdoors and resist rot. But cedar traditionally has been, the natural,
Fence
rot
post, anything
exactly.
That's in the ground.
Yeah, exactly. Nothing is truly rot resistant, but certainly cedar seems to have traditionally been the choice wood for
As long as it's sound before you put it in.
Yeah, absolutely, yeah.
Right, so if there's a hint of rot, it's only going to continue.
Yeah, exactly, just like rust.
Okay, so what do we look for? You're coming out to cut down a cedar that's going to yield good wood. Is there anything in particular? Do you look for where in the... we're on a hill,
Yeah.
and you've got a brook down there.
Correct.
So do you typically stay away from stuff that's low-lying, meaning in a swampy area, or we're on high ground here? What's the difference?
Well, luckily, like on the highland, every woodlot's different. You'll talk to a lot of people that say, their cedar is all rotten or gritty when you saw it, full of grit. Our cedar, for the most part, is pretty decent. Some of it is rotten. The thing with cedar is you never know what you're into until you've cut it down. Dad and I have found that time and time again. We look at a tree, everything looks great, it's got good foliage, you cut it down, you don't know, it could be rotten 6 feet up, it may have no rot at all. So, but what we found is that generally speaking, the cedar trees that have nice tight bark on them, like this one here, generally speaking, not as a rule of thumb, but generally a tree with nice tight bark has sound wood.
Yeah.
And we found that the trees with scaly bark...
so the one right behind you, if you look at the bottom,
Yep.
is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, if I had to guess, I would say that this is a sound tree. Unlike some of the bigger you know, cedar trees, the bark is often scaly, it's falling off. You can grab it and peel it off. Generally, we found that those trees are
Rotten.
Yeah.
rotten, at least a portion of them are.
Yeah.
Yep. And then it's usually evident by the, you know, the canopy has started to, you know, deteriorate, and it just is evident. But even in those trees, you can still get, if it's a 50-foot high tree, you might still get a 20-foot saw log out of it.
So, do you ever find a cedar that isn't full of knots? Because they all have multiple branches, even in areas where it seems like they've grown in a thick. I mean, these are all dead, right? Because they're competing for sunlight.
Correct.
So, do you ever find a nice clear section that might be 20 feet?
Definitely, the trees that'll yield clear lumber are generally big old trees, and the knots have long since. I mean, every tree has knots initially, but as they grow, the knots, you know, the branches fall off, as like you said, competing for sunlight, and they dissipate, and so generally the clear trees are usually the big ones, and they're rare.
Yeah.
If we go, Rob, further back into the stand, where the trees are tight together, they tend to be a lot less limbs, of course, down the
Right.
bottom, because the sunlight is up at the top, and that's where we'll find like the clear cedar. But we generally have to go back. Out here, they're heavy limbs because there's lots of sunlight, like along the roadway.
Right.
But if we get back into a thick stand, we have a better chance to find.
And that also keeps them nice and straight. I mean, I'm looking at that spruce, and that's a nice
exactly.
saw log.
Yes, it is. We'll probably saw that up one of these days.
I imagine you will. Well, all right. How are we going to pick which one you're going to bring down?
Well, what do you think about that one? Is that look like a good one to do a little demonstration on?
Well, I'll let you decide. I'm looking for a nice big one, but that's.
Well, there is.
We can't go too far down.
There is one further back.
Is there?
It's gonna
Close
be
to the road?
muddy.
Let's have a look at it. All right, save a little room for. This is a part metal tree. This is a fence. Or this was the fence line. So you've got a metal that is embedded in the wood. So obviously you don't want to cut that.
The tree's completely grown around the old fence.
He's sticking out through here. That's all. All right, so this is one we're going to cut down. So you can just film whatever you want to film.
So what do you think? We try that?
Yeah, yeah, it is not.
Yeah. See in here, Rob. Take a look. See, that's going to be hollow probably up here a ways.
Why do you say? Oh yeah, right. Yeah, that a squirrel's house?
Yeah, probably.
Something lived in it.
Yeah.
You ever cut one down and find evidence of something that had been living in it?
Oh sure. Oh yeah. Like when you got this type of base, yeah, that's quite common.
So we're about to evict somebody. Sorry, Andrew. So we're going to take this one, I Get a shot of the look of terror on the squirrel's face.
Wherever you want. You're gonna holler out? Yeah, I'll get it out.
The wire that's in the tree. back
It's like a big dinosaur.
Especially as thick as road is. Yeah. Selectively take one or two. It's always going to be later.
Cedar is generally, if it's in a thick stand, it's quite hard to fell.
What I mean is we found that wire. What some of the things that you found inside trees when you were cutting, or even lucky?
I think we've been lucky. That is the worst thing around old farmland is wire fence. Yeah. Saw log?
Section to
yeah, we'll take a look once he gets limbed. We'll take a look at, obvious, or a lot of the time a tree will have quite a bit of sweep to it, so instead of carrying it out in tree length, we'll predetermine what our saw logs are. We'll lie them up, cut them, and then yard them out, carry them out to the mill. It should be a pretty decent tree. We should get some good stuff out of that.
Well, I just that cedar we got from you, I processed.
Yeah.
No, I'm sorry, no. I got that all cut up and stickered.
Right.
But I had some other cedar. And the knots, for the most part, were nice and tight.
Right.
I got a special glue, really thin, it's called cyanacrylate.
Yeah.
And I just go through and I just ring the knot.
Okay.
And then if there's any slight checks in it, and it solidifies it, and it makes sure that it won't fall out in the future. So I don't mind the knots at all.
Oh, really? Okay.
Yeah. Okay. In fact, I meant to bring up a completed drawer to show you what exactly we do with it.
So have you already, what did you do with the stuff we gave you?
I cut it and stickered.
Oh.
It's drying.
Oh, good.
It's pretty wet. I don't know if it'll ever make it. Well, actually, I had some other cedar that I used for the current project we're working on, but this is stuff that we'll use probably next year if I can get the moisture content down.
So what moisture did you get out of it? Like what was it reading?
Oh, I didn't check it, but it was. You wouldn't want to leave it on a table saw; it would rust. Yeah. It was.
We have Doug has a moisture meter, and we use that sometimes just out of curiosity.
Yeah.
You know, see what the wood.
Yeah, they're a lot cheaper today than they used to be.
Tell you one more thing. Josh is coming up and he's bringing us a coffee. All right.
So what do we do?
We should be able to yield an 8x8 for a joke there, but on that end it's going to have some wane on it.
This average?
Those other ones were small, but they were easy to get to. But this is average.
So what's the biggest you get?
I think we've been able to get a clear 9x9 in cedar.
So this isn't that much smaller than what you...
No, like we've never gotten a 10x10, 10 feet long or even 8 feet long with no wane. Like if you can yield a healthy 8x8 or a 9x9, guaranteed it's going to have a little bit of wane on it. Yeah. Yeah. So, but we'll get an 8x8 for sure out of this, and with maintaining it there, but with some wane.
How long is this?
That's, I think it's about 18 feet,
And what's their capacity to saw?
20.
Oh, all right, okay.
Oh yeah, we'll saw it up.
That was long.
All right.
So, if you want to cut your own log, you need a chainsaw, 150 acre wood lot, Velcro, and a sawmill. Or you can just wait and we'll cut it up for you and ship it to you in the mail. Size for your drawers. See you in a minute. Now, we come back here and we've got another 2 weeks before the leaves are full color. And then you'd look out over there and you'd see nothing but oranges, reds, yellows, some green. Beautiful spot. All right, Brick, you're missing.
be all right. A little bit.
Yeah. It wasn't bad though. You didn't lose much more than what? 10 inches?
Yeah. Yeah, so we probably need to go up there another foot or so to get rid of that in the middle.
This end we could actually get some 12-inch.
Yeah.
Want to clean it up, Dan? Come and clean it up.
Generally doesn't operate today.
And then you could actually get nice wide.
How long a piece you want? You want it gone?
Oh, well, or whatever's best for you, and then I'll buy the.
Yeah, you. I mean, we can junk it up maybe after you square it if you want.
Or could we do that? Could we, Andrew?
We can do whatever.
Could we take a? I'm thinking we could get some nice wide stuff out of this, at
Yes.
least down on this end.
Yes.
So without wasting the rest of it, could we take a chunk off of this end? Remember, I said if I had a 4-foot section.
The only stipulation is that it has to be long enough to span a rail, so it's got to be at least 4 or 5 feet long.
That's just shy of 19 feet right there.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay. So what can we take off of this end that would still give you a usable?
I'd say we should square it up, but maintain as much as we can down here. So do the same thing you're talking about.
Yeah.
And then once we know what we can get, then
Why don't we cut it?
want to cut it there?
Because that's a lot bigger than up here.
It is, yeah.
For what Rob only wants short stuff.
Okay.
Then we. Well, there's eight.
Still an 8
There's
footer.
there's 8 feet from there.
Okay.
So if we get just shy of your bucket there. How's that, Rob?
That's
Sorry, you slipped your bucket. You'll be all right.
Yeah.
the audio because I want him to tell us. So what are we doing as far as placing this on the rails? Just in the middle?
We're just going to try to get it so it spans the bunks, and we can catch it with these two dogs, so we can lock it in there to saw it.
You try to get it where it's sitting somewhat. In other words, what do you look for in placement right now?
Well, we're just trying to get it to sit reasonably level on the mill. Sometimes we might have to roll it a little bit to kind of get the first initial cut, but that's not too bad the way that's sitting there right now. So what we're going to do now is we're going to check the butt and the top, and because the log is tapered, we're going to shim the small end to kind of optimize the good wood when we start sawing.
Right.
So I'm just going to check and see what the difference in diameter is here. So I think I'm going to throw a shim under here.
Morning, buddy. How's it going? Good. How you doing? Thanks, man. Appreciate that.
So that'll kind of optimize us now, and we don't waste too much slab on the thick end.
So you got a dog on two sides, and then this.
And then this one on this side.
Yeah, no, really nice. So we've got the gentleman on the right. He has a tool company and he's a professional woodworker. So he's out this morning.
Hold on, I gotta fix this one.
We're going to do a little series
Here.
treat of furniture and that kind of thing.
And lock it.
Yep, right there would be good, Rob.
Okay.
So we cut
Alright,
that
that
tree
should
down
hold her.
and we yarded it out.
While we get the saw started.
What is this? You got a gasoline how many horse?
This is a 13 horsepower Honda engine. It's a Norwood ML26 bandsaw. Ideally, or maximum cut about 26-inch diameter. Although we found that's really hard to do with this light saw. The size of stick we got on there right now is, we find is about, as big as you really want to go without having to work the saw too hard.
Yeah. And it's arm power.
It's a manual carriage back and forth. We'll see how that works in a minute. Adjusts manually, obviously, and then we've got a guide here that tells us the height off of the punks.
So how are you deciding where your first cut's going to be?
Well, I'm just gonna look at that now. Basically, just take a tape measure and kind of eyeball where I ought to be to start to get a reasonable width when the first slab comes off. So I'm thinking I'm going to try about, maybe we'll try 14 inches and see what that does.
I was going to guess 14. Steel corresponding with the bed rails through the blade.
Although I think we probably should go down more yet, eh? We're quite narrow here.
So what we're going to do, once we make this first cut that we're happy with, then we flip it over, and that goes to the bottom, and you square up the other side.
Some guys like live edge stuff. Sometimes you'll see camps with siding that's live edge, and that actually looks really sharp.
Well, what I'm thinking is that's going to give me the maximum width.
Yep, that's right.
So can we slice it like that? No, we don't. No, I can do that myself.
Oh.
We can cut it, slice it just like that, so we get the tree just as it is. And what I'd like, because it's drawer stock and we don't want to lose all that extra, if we can, instead of you normally would cut an inch in order to yield 3/4, I only want 3/8 finished width. So if we took it to 5/8, slice it off 5/8 and just kind of see how we go down through.
I don't have a scale for 5/8, so we'll probably have to mark it.
So these knots seem quite solid, so I'm not concerned. Like I said, what we did, some of these have, I mean, you're going to have to work between them, but that little bit of cyanacrylate on there just stiffened those right up. No problem at all. Plane goes right over them and looks beautiful.
We'll see how it goes when we get down into it.
I never assume anything, but some people may not know that when a tree grows, it grows from the top. In other words, if you put your fence 4 feet up, in 100 years' time, that fence is still going to be at the 4-foot mark. The tree grows up to the top. So as long as you're above whatever the last height of the fence would be, you're safe.
Right, right. You still have your marker? Do you have a marker in the truck? I didn't see one. Oh.
So I'll come around.
On that side, the exhaust is all blown out there. Glasses. Drop that down. lines go right on down there, but I can't do the math.
Rob? Okay, go.
Lower. Like this too, they dry faster. What most people would want for construction lumber, you lose so much width. We can trim off the little bit of bark, and we're going to end up with, we can get 16-inch wide pieces, which means on this last project, I could have been able to get one full width board for the bottom and not had to glue it up at all. Nothing against gluing, but if I get in one piece at once. You couldn't pick up the smell.
We are getting a little better at the end of it.
Yeah. Yeah. Get rid of that little rock spot than the other board. Yeah. Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. You're cutting this narrow, your saw has to be tight tolerances. You don't have a whole lot of room. And I got them to mill me up some of that stuff that I showed you on camera the other day. And when I ran that stuff through the thickness planer, it was within a 64th of an inch. Yep. Because I would take a light cut and it would take it all the way down the length. So I was impressed. Except for that one little area where it did a little. That's why they sharpen blades. Yeah. Oh, right there. So we're into, well, we can easily get 14 inches out of that. So it's only going to get better from here. And we've got the center of the tree right there, so we still have 3 or 4 good boards to come. We're just starting to touch the center of the tree, but only right there. Wouldn't get, I don't think we can get a 16-inch wide piece, but all right, we need to flip it. Put on.
I think we nicked the post there.
Nick the post.
Quarter of the way through. I think it's the other one. I suspect we ruined that blade, but we could try it. I think we definitely did hit it.
Oh yeah, well it's shiny.
Yeah. You can feel a little hump here.
Yeah.
If you want to keep going, we probably should change the blade. What do you think?
Oh no. No, I don't think you're gonna get. I don't think you're gonna be able to maintain flat.
No, I say, do you want to finish it
Oh
off
yeah,
with the
yeah,
new
we may
blade?
well. Yeah. So I would change the blade. Are you filming this?
I am right now, yeah. Explain what happened, because I don't think we could hear.
Well, in all the excitement, you hit the bench. You hit the dog. See right there. And as a result, that would take the set off on one side of the blade. So if you run your hand over here, as soon as you get there, you feel it rises up, and then it's wavy down through there. So the good news is, how much are blades?
A new blade is about $26. A resharpen is $10.
So it's not
a
the
big
end of
deal.
the day.
Not a big deal. I'd say definitely we haven't ruined that blade.
What is that? 1 TPI? 2 TPI.
Yeah. We nicked the post that time. Yeah, I wasn't paying attention.
It's not a really heavy machine. I don't know what it costs, but
Looks expensive.
I'll bet the tractor costs more.
Yeah.
Had we not add a little iron to our diet, you'd easily get through that log on one blade.
Oh, easy. Yes. Yes, easy. Rob, are you on?
Not quite, but getting there.
You get on first.
And what, you want the teeth hanging over?
Yeah, just to the edge of the gullet.
Okay,
Right
I'm good here.
Bill.
The belt goes right in the middle. There's a groove on this drive pulley, and the belt actually sits right in the middle of it. So the belt is running underneath the blade. I never saw that before, but then I haven't seen that many of them.
This has a belt as well, just for the blade.
Oh, is it? That's
for the
that's
blade
what they
to
use
ride
for a
on, yeah?
bandsaw tire is just a belt.
Yeah.
It's hot. Oh, the exhaust blowing on all the time. Does that track automatically, or do you have to do it manually?
It generally is pretty, usually the first try, as long as you pay attention to where the teeth are on the pulley, it generally It's right on the first try.
And how do you know? Are you got a tension adjust over there, or are you just guessing on the tension?
No, I know how much I need to tension it. There's a scale over here
Okay.
that shows me how tight I am.
And the windshield wash, you told me, is just to keep pitch
Yeah,
from
just
sticking to the
a
blade.
little lubricant on the blade, but mainly just to control the pitch build up on the blade.
And that's all it is windshield wash.
Yeah, that's all.
Car windshield
Which
wash.
of course is advantageous in cold weather because it doesn't freeze. You could use water, but it's not quite as effective at cleaning the blade.
And what the I mean, you don't have to worry about that cutting cedar. So when do you have to use that? Pine. I suppose some
Pine,
spruce even.
spruce, anything that's really pitchy. Yeah.
So what are we gonna do? Cut the rest of this dog off?
Yeah. Yeah, let's cut the rest of the dog. You see this one?
Well, I can get.
Look at this one, Rob.
Oh, that's the one that you cut.
Look how far I got into that before I realized what I was doing.
Well, there's always a learning curve. But I can go down. I can go down a couple of inches here, and I can still grab wood.
Well, we'll see how stable, because if
Well,
our
what
wood,
I'm thinking is, if you want to get one clean cut,
if our
take
wood,
care of
as
that.
long as we can lock the piece. Otherwise, if it rocks at all, our board's going to be
right?
quite uneven.
Okay, now
I probably should drop this side a bit too, eh?
I need this. I've got a knot right here, so I need the whole thing to come down about an inch toward me. No, wait a minute now. I lost our shim.
Okay. You want some more?
No,
You're okay?
Yeah, that's allowing for one more cut to bring that back to being flat. Yeah, the only thing is I moved that that shim underneath there moved a little bit, so whether or not that's still going to be level.
That's a problem. This may be a bad board. We'll see. You may be able to just
It's
plane
going to
it
be our
out.
widest one too. Well, we'll take it a little thick,
Yeah, and
just
plane
to
it
allow
out.
for it.
I just don't know if I can lock us here. I got so much round, eh?
Get right in that knot. Might be able to.
There's a spot there. I might be able to.
Frick, you're missing all the excitement.
Oh, is she solid?
I think so.
What I missed?
Oh. We shortened the bench dogs. They were too high.
Oh, you tried to, you mean?
At the top. Good?
Good.
So, have we got clearance? We'll take a, say, 7/8 inch thick piece. I've got plenty here.
All right. Where do we want to be?
Down. Oh. A little lower. A little lower. Yeah, it's tapered from side to side, but that's all right. Go a little bit lower just to make sure we
Do
can
you
get
want to go down? Or do you want to stay
there.
up
That's
here?
good.
I will.
Okay,
do
so
it.
that'll be a heavy piece, but
I'm gonna have
it's all right.
pick up Jill at some point.
Okay.
I should let the dog in. I got it. I got it.
cracking already.
Clear that handle on that vent truck.
You want to put it close to it.
Well, in order to keep it from being over here too far, I assume we need to have the dog turn that way. Clear the, oh yeah, okay.
Might need to like that. watch the dog on that side, Rod.
Those last couple of boards are probably the nicest ones.
Yeah, it's probably a good thing we kept going.
That one's a little bit thick, but that's all right.
I'm sure you'll find a use for it.
Oh, I'll create one. Yeah, that's almost enough cedar to build a chest of drawers for each Cosman kid. Grandkids now. It'll never end.
Well, that was the tree an hour ago. Standing in the woods.
A year from now, it'll be a piece of furniture. Well, that's fantastic, and I'm sure they enjoyed it as well. It's nice to see, and we'll follow it right from having cut it down. We'll go home. We got to sticker this, and we'll sticker it outside, and I'll get a moisture meter on it and find out. Just keep track of it when it gets down around. What's the best you can do outside? 15%?
Probably.
Yeah. And then
Probably outside.
We'll move it inside, and we should be able to get it down around.
Do you want to see what the moisture is now?
Yeah.
I have a
Have you got a meter? Yeah, put that on there. That piece came right out of the middle, so.
Well, perhaps we are maxed out now on that try. Which means we could be in excess of...
So your red light's off now. So turn
Right.
it. Okay, now it's on. So what's
and
that?
we're reading 22%.
22.
Well, it could be, 22, 23, somewhere in there.
Right.
Which is wet.
You stick it in the end of that spruce tree there, Dad.
We could try it now out here in the sapwood, eh? It's probably going to be
Higher.
off the scale. Well, let's turn it around so you can see the dial. That's probably 25% there.
But there's a live tree, and it would still have, well, it's a cedar tree, and it doesn't shed its needles at any.
What do you think it should be?
I don't know. I would have thought it'd been a lot higher than that. 40, having just been standing. One of the easiest ways to do this, or the most accurate without having the equipment, is you take a piece of wood in the environment that you're going to have it, and you just keep weighing it. And you weigh it, and it'll keep losing, and then at some point it'll fluctuate between up, down, up, down. In other words, it's reached equilibrium with its surrounding, and then you know it's ready to be used. Because it's hygroscopic, so it's always trying to reach equilibrium with the surrounding atmosphere. So it's either taking on or giving off moisture. And you want to get it to that point where it is just fluctuating a little bit because it's trying to always stay current with where it's sitting.
So what do you want for making
Well,
furniture?
around here,
Ideally,
probably 6 to 8%.
6 to 8.
6 is on the low end, but I mean, people that control the humidity in their homes. I did a kitchen for Steve's Kitchen, and when we built that, there was a lot of miters in there, and I had warned them. I said, listen, if you don't put in some kind of means of controlling the humidity, you're going to be in trouble. And they didn't believe me until they had the molding around their doors is probably 8 inches wide, and it's mitered, and all of a sudden the miters started to open, and that was dry lumber. So that's when they said okay, and they put in they added quite an extensive humidifier. Not just humidifier, but anyway, now they control the humidity, so no more problems.
Now, if we stick it right into the wood, we are maxed out. So we are in excess of 25%,
Yeah.
which is probably more likely the case, eh?
Well, I think with it that thin, stickered, I would say we could have that ready. I'm guessing. I think we could have that ready to use 6 to 8 months, which would be nice. It takes us about that long to get something built. Well, we do a half an hour at a time, 3 days a week.
Yeah.
Sometimes 2 days a week if we're on the other workshop.
Yeah.
Anyway, this has been fun. Appreciate it.
Yes, sir.
Thank you very much for taking the time.
Well, it's
I have to
been a pleasure.
reward you. We don't want that on film. Thank you, Andrew. This has been great.
Yep.
If you get some bird's eye, call me right back, and we'll be up here to handle that.
Yeah.
All right, we'll see you. Actually, what we'll do is we'll pick this up sometime either later today or first of the week when we're actually stickering that out behind the shop. So we'll show you how we need to store it for the next little while, and then we'll just watch it from there. Get it covered, but it has to be outside. All right, we'll see you.